I know that a lot of you are devastated by the Georgia school shooting, the 30th mass school shooting of 2024. I know many of you are angry and hurt and scared and sad, crushed, devastated. I get all of it. And I know a lot of you want justice. So do I. But it's important that we not confuse justice with bloodlust. There are many people out there who are championing the government, the state's decision to try the young man who did the shooting, Colt Graves, 14 years old, as an adult. That's
Well, so first thing I'll say here is that I don't perceive that as bloodlust, right? Like you phrase like try because kids get tried as an adult. Like that's not like a
Un-
unprecedented thing. Like that
right,
happens sometimes, and
right,
oftentimes, especially for black kids, we get tried we get tried as adults a lot, right?
absolutely.
So the fact that I'm not trying to be racial here, but the fact that it happens to a white kid, it happens, to teenagers. Sometimes they do something particularly heinous and particularly premeditated. You get tried as an adult. So I don't. To me, I don't see like I think his term of like bloodlust. I don't like that.
Is
I
a
think
bit
that's a little too
excessive.
charged. I think that's too charged of a term for trying him. I mean, I don't even know the legal criteria for like when you do try someone as an adult, but I don't think bloodlust matches this situation.
Yeah, not this context. Not when you. I believe he murdered 4 people and injured another like
Like
20
nine or
or
yeah, I don't
something like
know.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree in that. I agree with that. I think he is. I think he's being a little bit excessive, but I understand. I understand the context. At least, like if he's saying we don't want to, like not in the terms of bloodlust as it relates to this situation, but just in general, we don't want to try children as adults, especially given their development, like their mental development. And it's just like I can understand why he would have this perspective, especially if you're really like if you're thinking that this individual is a child, like and like especially in it can get into a deeper conversation. It's just like, does he have free will? Could he have acted differently?
I mean, none of us have free will, in my opinion. But you know me, man. I respect kids, and by respect, that means I hold them accountable. A
Hold him
lot of people,
accountable.
yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, he's a child." Like that kid, about 14 years old, 15, something like that. Like,
Yep.
you think me at 14, 15, I didn't know what I was doing? I knew exactly. Now, again, is everybody me? No,
Right.
but I knew exactly what I was doing. These kids, they ain't as in my opinion, they're not as stupid as people think they are. Like that's there's something about that kid that made him go and shoot those people. That's
Right.
part of him. That's part of who he is. And to be like, oh, well, he's just a child is like, nah, not to me. Like that's a murderer, is what he is. I mean, he's a 14-year-old.
Murder. Right. And I agree. I think like so like this may be like a complex legal situation, but I think like trying them as an adult relative to making crimes like this more strict for children, I think is a conversation. It's just like in terms of legal complexities, do you want to try a child as an adult, or do you want to make situations like this? Do you want to de-incentivize situations like this in the future by putting harsher punishments on children relative to trying children as an adult? And I
Yeah, and
think
that's another thing too, because who's the type of person that does this, right? Who's the type of
right,
person that does school shooters? Like I remember this is like from I think it was from Breaking Bad or something, but it still applies here, where they were like, "Hey, you're the kid, you go shoot him because if you get
right.
caught,
If you
it
get
doesn't
caught,
really do anything,
right,
right?" So if you have somebody who is, you know, let's say malicious and violent. Now, no, I don't know whether he is or isn't, right? Like, so to me, you have two different types of people who kill. You have people who are emotionally hurt and kind of angry at society or something like that, and it's because they are in this bad emotional place that they go out and do it. And these people, had they have been maybe had more friends, have been better socialized, had a better home life, they wouldn't have been in that situation, right? They're just kind of in this dark place. And those people, they have a positive way out. But then you got other people who are just cold calculated, psychopathic type. I mean, this is like 1% of the population. Now, again, that's a lot of people, but most of those psychopaths aren't, they're not out to hit you necessarily. They're not violent necessarily. But if you do have someone who is willing to be violent, now they say, I'd like to kill a bunch of people when I'm 15, so it's a good time to do it.
Right.
Rather than wait until I'm, 4 years from now, I go to jail for life, right? So if you're dealing with that type of person who's a smart, hostile, malicious individual, you don't want him to go, oh, these soft adults going to try me as a child. Yeah, no, man, I'm taking you out, man. You ain't pulling that one on me.
Yeah, I get that. And that's where it's just like, I'm in a unique situation to where I'm not comfortable with the child being tried as an adult, because adolescence is something that I think should be protected.
I don't think so, man.
It should be treated differently.
Because what's the point? To me, here's the argument for this: their brains aren't developed. They're not smart. It's like, but ain't nobody smart, man. Like, you look at adults, you think adults are smart out here? No.
I mean, no, they're not.
They're gonna be. Look, if he done now, he's gonna be done in 10 years, probably, right? So, like, what's the difference?
But you don't want to assume
like, there's
that.
stupid people everywhere. Like, for instance, that's like saying you should have, if you're stupid, you should just, go home free, right? Because they're basically saying that kids are stupid. But like, adults are stupid. They gonna be stupid later. They stupid now. They're gonna be stupid later too. They don't get. It ain't like as soon as you hit 18, you become a philosopher.
No,
right?
I mean, I think it's kind of similar to abortion, to where I think most people would agree that you shouldn't abort a baby at 8 months or 9 months because of
right
pain.
As a baby.
It's just like,
yeah.
And I think most people would agree that if a 4-year-old a 4-year-old stabbed 2 people or killed 3 people by chance with a gun, that, or 5-year-old or 6-year-old or 7-year-old, even, like, that we're not wanting to try them as adults.
Well, to me, there's a difference between 4. I give you 4. I'll give you that. But like, you start getting close to 10 and you're doing some heinous, like, some premeditated stuff.
No,
I'm like,
no, 10 is way too young. 10 is way too young.
No, it's not. If you don't want some real bad stuff and you planned it, that's you. That ain't when you're 10 years old, you just go and drown dogs and kill. Like, no, you don't. Like, something wrong with that kid. Something is
but
that ain't 10-year-old behavior. That's killer behavior.
I don't think we try them as adults. And like, to me, I think most people agree that there's a certain age at which it becomes reasonable. And I think
almost like they just consent for sex too, right? There's different people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think most people agree that there's a certain age that it becomes reasonable.
For me, the age is low. For me, and I could be biased because that was now I'll admit I'm biased because that was my biggest complaint as a kid, was that everybody, I had no respect. Everybody talking to me like I'm stupid all the time. I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking stupid.
Right. And
but they assume you are as a kid, right? So I'm just like, and then like I'm around kids and here's the thing too, I see character, right? I see character in people, and like you might be like you might socialize a little bit better as you get older. But a lot of times that fundamentals don't change, man. Like the character that you have and all that.
Not at all.
So
not at all.
When I see these bad kids, like, oh, he's just a kid. I'm like, no, that's a bad person. That's a bad person as a kid.
Right.
And that's just it. That's what he is. He's a bad person as a kid. And the thing is, as adults, there's bad people too. And you say, well, kids can change? Adults can change. Sometimes you got an adult that's bad, and then he gets better later on in life. Maybe he was bad through his 30s. And then, by the time he's 60, he cooled down and he's actually a cool person. So it could be the same thing. It was bad when they was a teenager, but then by the time they're 18, but like regardless, to me, like that whole, like, oh, their brains aren't developed. They're not as cognitively. I'm just like, man, there's so many people. There's so much cognitive variation just among adults, right? Like,
absolutely.
I'll take me as a kid over damn near everybody.
I get you. And I would too. I get you. And I'm not. So like, I'm with you in the same vein of putting more responsibility on children and disincentivizing that action. But in the legal context, I'm not for trying them as an adult. I think, like, if for children, I think laws like this as it relates to like premeditated murder and things of that nature should be more extreme. It's just like, and I think it should be more extreme so it disincentivizes and like they're essentially locked away from society and that's what you want to do, but you're not treating them as you would an adult. And I think that's reasonable.